At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce the Director Carlos Ramos. I'd like to thank our executive sponsor for having the vision and passion to make an event like this a reality. Throughout his career, Carlos Ramos has been a leader on many of California's key technology initiatives. He has served as the Director of the Office of Systems Integration with a $4.5 billion portfolio of California's largest technology projects. He helped architect and consolidate the state's largest data centers and the creation of California's Department of Technology Services. He has also served as the Assistant Secretary for Health and Human Services, the Director of the Van Til Data Center, and as the CIO for California's Department of Social Services. So he obviously knows the role that technology plays in government operations as well as the challenges it brings. Because of that, he's the perfect executive sponsor for this forum and the perfect person to kick off this conference. So please give a warm welcome to Carlos Ramos.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Russ. Thank you for all of you that are making time to be here today. I'm going to start off with a couple of acknowledgments, and one of the principal acknowledgments that I need to make is for all of those who are in the public sector who are not in the IT shops. Could I just have you stand up, please? If you're in the public sector but not in the IT shop, please stand up. Okay, I see a few over here. All right, awesome. Well, thank you all for being here. Let's give them a round of applause. I'll tell you, even though the title of the conference is Trending Technologies, I think really this is meant for you. It's meant to showcase the potential and the promise of technology, but really for the purpose of making government more effective and more efficient. I also need to acknowledge and thank Russ.Hicks and Sherilyn Hammond and their team over at PSP and the rest of the folks at PSP for once again pulling together a great event for us. So could we just show them a little bit of appreciation? And obviously this wouldn't be possible without all the support and generosity of all the different sponsors that participated. So to all of you sponsors, I want to give you a round of appreciation, a round of applause to say thank you as well. One suggestion, Russ, for next time, you might want to have a sponsor for air conditioning. It is really warm in this. Is it? I know I'm warm. I always sweat, but is anybody else warm in here? All right, it is warm. So just a thought. Couple of other acknowledgments. In a little while, you're going to get to hear from some of our leaders of the future. So technology is all about having a vision for the future and getting us there, right? Making it possible for us to get there. Along with the innovation and the pace of innovation in technology, which is really pretty constant if you think about it. It's pretty constant and it's pretty fast. We as public sector servants really need to be able to keep pace with that. So one of the things that was really kind of a brainchild of one of our speakers here was, why don't we try and do something to make sure that the state's ability to lead and to manage keeps pace with innovation in technology. So we have our future leaders standing here. So ITLA 22, if you're here, please stand up. These are our participants in our IT Leadership Academy, and they're going to be up here in a little while to showcase some of the work that they've done, so welcome all. So I gave them all an assignment yesterday. I got a chance to speak with them. The assignment is to go out and get to know and network with all of you folks. So if you see these folks, especially those of you that are in the sponsor and vendor partner part of the audience, these are the guys that you want to get to know because they're going to be the leaders of the future. Some of them are already leaders today and already making strides. So make sure you get a chance to chat with all of them. And then finally, one kind of actually difficult acknowledgement for me, only because this man has meant a lot to me in my career. Dawood Godes, if you wouldn't mind standing up. So Dawood is our director of our Office of Technology Services, a personal friend and somebody that I've gotten a chance to work with, not only here during my time at the Department of Technology, but when I was director of Teal as well, Dawood has announced his retirement, much to my chagrin and heartache. And Dawood will be leaving us in a couple of months, right? Actually, you know, normally when people tell me they're leaving, I always tell them they're dead to me, you know, because I take it personally. But in this case, I really couldn't do that because, you know, it's for a very noble reason. And, you know, I know if I was in the situation, I'd have to make the same decision. So I just want to thank you, Dawood, for your leadership and your work, not only in your current position at OTEC, but throughout your career and your dedication to public service. So please, round of applause for Dawood. Okay, so just a couple of brief observations that I want to make, because we do have a very full day today, and I don't want to take too much time up here. But you know, one of the things that I do is I look at technology themes just in everyday life. And so what I was noticing, you know, the last few weeks have been really busy for me, where I really have not had much of a personal life. And one of the things I like to do is I like to go to the movies. And so I've seen all these movie previews that I think, oh man, I got to go see that movie. And a lot of them I noticed, you know, I started to notice there was a little bit of a trend in that all these movie themes had technology as kind of a central feature in the movies. So as an example, there's a new Jurassic Park coming out, right? So, you know, I like the first couple of Jurassic Parks, not all of them. There's one I thought was really stupid, but but this new one looks kind of cool. And I think the theme there is, you know, technology and innovation have really led us, you know, innovation and science led us to something really cool. And as I see the previews, now I haven't had time to see any of these movies yet, but at least they look kind of cool. But it seemed like technology had a pretty central theme in it. The other one is the Avengers, you know, the Age of Ultron. And from what I can tell, you know, in this one, Iron Man, you know, builds this really cool robot that kind of goes rogue, and then, you know, the Avengers have to go fight it. And then this other one called Ex Machina. Have you guys seen that one? Have you seen the previews for that? And it looks like it's somebody who built a very lifelike human robot and, you know, put somebody on this island to go participate with it, and something bad happens. I can't really tell what it is, but it looks kind of bad. What I noticed, though, was that the theme there was, you know, technology without, you know, some level of protection just goes bad and really does some bad things to all these folks. So I was thinking, you know, I don't think that's the way technology always works. Sometimes it does, but not always. And then the other one that I saw that, you know, to me looks really interesting is a movie by Disney called Tomorrowland. Anybody seen the previews to Tomorrowland? It looks kind of cool. It's kind of hard to tell whether that's going to be one of those technology gone bad movies as well. But in watching the previews, it made me think back to the time when I first got a chance to go to Disneyland. And I must have been about 8, 9 years old. And one of the things that really made an impression on me was Tomorrowland back then. So this would have been early 70s, maybe late 60s. And some of the cool things that I saw there were really kind of technology oriented and very futuristic. So for example, they had this thing called Autopia. Anybody been on that ride? Right? These little self-driving cars basically that take you through Tomorrowland and a couple of other parts in Disney. I think they've updated it now to the Cars theme, but that was one of them. And the other one was this thing that was kind of like the showcase of the future. And what I remember is they had a robotic Abraham Lincoln in there. You know, so you would sit in this theater and these robots would sit there and talk to you and tell you about American history. And what I was thinking about that is, okay, this was in the early 60s. Back then, people were thinking about, you know, self-driving cars. They were thinking someday we're going to have these robots that look like people that, you know, you can interact with. And what do we have today? Right? Today we have self-driving cars. There was something in the papers about these Google cars, and they've done some studies of them, or just monitoring how they're working. And the ones that have been driving around here in California, they've been in accidents, but the accidents are caused by other drivers. So the conclusion is these self-driving cars are safer than human drivers. The other thing that I read with curiosity the other day was about how Japan has now come out with this robotic receptionist, right? It's a human-looking, very interactive, female human robot, right? And so they set it up at, I guess, at a mall or someplace public over in Japan, and they had people interacting with it, and people were really, at first, couldn't really tell it was a robot. So my thought was, okay, so this was envisioned, years ago, and today, because of the promise and the pace of technological innovation, we have self-driving cars, we have robots that are very human and interactive. And I think that really is a promise of technology. As we look around and we see the pace of innovation and technology, I think what I take away from it is, if we can envision it, we can achieve it. And if we can envision it, for the better of society or the betterment of public service, technology can help us achieve that as well. So I think really that's what today is about. It's a showcase of trending technologies. It's a showcase to say, look, here's what's happening in data analytics, in cloud computing, and mobile computing. But really it's up to us, and that's why I was really happy to see so many of the folks from the business side here. It's up to us to be able to say, okay, what can we envision with this technology? Because technology is going to continue to innovate, and it's going to continue to get better and better and easier to use. So it's up to us as public servants to understand, how can we take this technology and how can we make it work not only in our own program areas, but on behalf of the people that we serve here in the state of California. So that's what I'm hoping all of you will take away from today, is the opportunity to go out and see what's possible. Go out and see what's happening. Go out and see what's trending in the way of IT innovation, but bring it back to how can we make this work for the betterment of the people of California. So I hope you take advantage of today. Go out, talk to the vendors, go see what they're showcasing out in their booths, and hit up all the sessions. And really, as you're in those sessions, ask the questions, how can we use this in my program area? How can we use it in my department? So I want to showcase, speaking of innovation, a couple of things. If we could bring up the slides, please. So we're doing our part at the Department of Technology. Most of you are pretty familiar with the mobile app gallery. It's a recognition of the fact that nowadays people are using mobile devices more and more, and especially to do things in their day-to-day lives. So, interacting with government shouldn't be any different. Here's what's innovative about it, is we've updated the mobile app gallery, and I'll just share something with you. We're kind of competitive with other states. We like to see what other states are doing and see whether we're keeping pace, whether they're in front, or whether we're behind. Right now, I'm pleased to say California has the most mobile apps in its mobile app gallery of any state in the nation. We're going to get even better at that, because we just added, if you see that little tab right there, we just added a bunch of mobile apps for local government. So we went out, we talked to the county CIOs and said, hey, we got this mobile app gallery. It's a way of showcasing how citizens can interact with government, and we'd love to have your stuff on there. It's geo-enabled, so so we can make it specific to your area. So Ventura County was the first one to sign on. They brought on their mobile apps. And Scott Patterson, where are you? How many did they bring on? So 12. That's just the beginning. We're pretty sure that the counties are somewhat competitive as well. So once they see Ventura on there, we're going to get a bunch of other cities and counties on there. So this is kind of what it looks like here. Let's see if we can see it on the different devices, on tablets and on mobile phones. So to me, that was kind of cool. It shows that we in the public sector are thinking of life for citizens from the perspective of, it should be easy for them to interact with government. They shouldn't have to go hunting around to know, okay, what area do I live in, and how do I find mobile apps for that? So we're going to be adding those to the state mobile app store. Anyway, Scott and your team, thank you. Thank you for getting the locals on there, and I'm sure we're going to really keep pace with the rest of the states now.